Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is the Prince of FNAF, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and also be sure to hit that notification bell. That way, you'll indeed be notified for any awesome videos like this in the future. Just a quick disclaimer, I will not be taking any credit for any fan art or renders used in tonight's video. All credit goes to the original creators, whoever they may be. So I guess a great place to start with the scariest fazbear fright monsters is with the stitchwraith. The stitchwraith is described as being a mangled, unfinished endoskeleton with a doll mask and a cloaked garb. Very similar to Ennard, but is in fact not Ennard. He appears in each of the books as a epilogue character. After the main three stories are done, he seemingly arrives to collect remnants of that story's events, whether it be the voice box or battery of Fetch the Dog, or scrapped parts during the To Be Beautiful story. It always seems that he's always there to pick pieces, both metaphorically and literally. He is very mysterious, at least at the time I'm recording this video, because I've only read the first four stories within Fazbear Fright, so I may be wrong, but he's still a very spooky and mysterious character, and even seems to be haunted by several people, not just one entity. He is cryptic, and therefore making him a lot more intimidating than any character in the franchise thus far. Fetch the Dog is another antagonist in the Fazbear Frights book series that's quite cryptic. In the sense, we know where he comes from, but not what his motives are, beyond him just fetching things for his master within the book's story. And Fetch the Dog also seems to be quite the troublemaker, as he will indeed fetch things for his master, but it does have a monkey paw to it. While in the beginning of the story, Fetch did fetch the stuff he was asked to, but as the story went on, things got a lot darker when things like the main character's hatred for the dog next door, Fetch went over there and brutally murdered the dog, or how the character wanted to have his uncle's lucky finger. Fetch went over to his uncle's house, broke in, and bit off his uncle's lucky finger, and so on and so forth. It is these things that become a lot darker as the events go on, until finally he ends up killing his owner's best friend and love interest at the end of the story, leaving cryptic messages like, "See you soon," even after Fetch is supposedly being killed by being beaten to a unrecognizable pile of scraps and bolts. Now, this list would not be complete without mentioning Julius's endoskeleton from the Breaking Wheel, but in the story, the two characters stumble across an endoskeleton, and one of them, I guess jokingly, puts on the endoskeleton. However, it's revealed that this endoskeleton is actually a springlock suit, and it kills the kid. Now, whatever events transpire after that don't matter, because the endoskeleton is alive. So, during one night, the skeleton breaks into this best friend's house, and with limbs and dead corpses flailing around, attacks his best friend with the body of his dead friend still attached, which is the most dark stuff I can't even fathom how dark this is, and how messed up that concept is, of having this dead corpse be inside of an endoskeleton that you can physically see, and it's just attacking. that is the most scary thing I can ever think of in a Five Nights at Freddy's story, or any Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, at least freaking William Afton, when he was in Springtrap, at least that shit was covered up. No, this is in full display, which is the grossest, most disgusting, most horrifying thing imaginable. Funtime Freddy in the Count the Ways story is really messed up, and for some reason this guy knows about the French Revolution for some reason. But the story is about a emo girl who goes to stay with her grandparents and her grandfather, more specifically. She is quite dark and depressed, and she craves death. But then one day, when she finds the withered up, old, broken down Funtime Freddy animatronic in her grandfather's garage, she begins to question what she really wants, clinging onto life as long as she can, but unfortunately, it is not meant to last, and she gets her wish, whether she likes it or not. As Funtime Freddy plots all the different ways until the moment of her demise, talking about all the different ways he can end her life and make her leave such a miserable, miserable world. And at the very end, it gets quite dark as Funtime Freddy releases blades into his hatch, which causes, obviously, Millie to get brutally ripped apart. Into the Pit Spring Bonnie is another interesting character, as throughout the beginning of the story, at least the first half of Into the Pit, we are led to believe that this is another version of Springtrap, and that William Afton is somehow inside it, haunting this kid for some reason, just singling him out. But it's revealed later and halfway through the story that this is not William Afton, nor was it ever, but instead there was some kind of monstrous creature inside of this animatronic suit, as when the mask is opened, it's just a void of sharp needle-like teeth and flesh that never once resembled a human. He is very intimidating at this point because he is not a human. He's something else that we don't know what he is, and just that idea of the unknown is terrifying. One of these visits to the past of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the Into the Pit Bonnie comes back to the present with the kid and proceeds to replace his father entirely. And it even seems that other characters like the kid's mother and even school kids in his school seem to believe that this is in fact his father, but it's not. And when we talk about the Eleanor character, I will explain, and this makes a lot more sense, because it seems Eleanor can actually manipulate entire realities, so it makes sense that she would manipulate the events within the story to make it seem and make other characters believe that the Into the Pit Spring Bonnie is actually the kid's father. And things are only fixed when the Into the Pit Spring Bonnie is killed by getting entangled in the nets above the time-traveling ball pit, killing it. And when our main character turns around to see his attacker, it's revealed to just be an empty suit. Just an empty husk. No monster, no nothing. Just an empty, decaying suit. Which is really quite disturbing and mysterious, but with Eleanor being a eldritch goddess, it makes a lot of sense. Eleanor is the eerie part of Fazbear Frights. She appears to be controlling the entire universe in which the stories take place in. A god, a eldritch horror goddess. She controls everything. She is everything. And if she isn't everything, she created it. She is a very terrifying individual. She plays off as the series antagonist. And she is everything that is, was, or ever will be. She is the outcome of a doll that was created to be someone's kid or be the replacement of someone's kid, I would imagine, as this happens all the time. However, she became corrupted by immense amounts of agony, which turns into remnant. And she kind of became almost crazed by all this agony and turned into a violent, destructive character within the FNAF franchise. She is quite sadistic in the ways that she deals with her stories and the characters within them, characters that she created. She has no sympathy, and it's even shown when she caters to the pettish little desires of a young girl named Sarah, as she just uses her abilities to grant her wish. However, again, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, so there's a monkey paw effect. She says, in return for you taking me away from the scrapyard, young Sarah, I will in turn give you this necklace, which will grant your wishes. It'll make you what I would call beautiful. However, you must promise to never take it off. And this inevitably happens. The necklace falls off, and it is revealed that over the course of several nights, Eleanor has been ripping Sarah apart and rebuilding Sarah around herself to turn herself into a human. And Sarah just dies, like flat out dies because of her injuries. And because of the sudden realization, I guess, the only thing that was keeping her alive was this obliviousness and this necklace, I guess, that Eleanor had given her. But it's revealed that she was into the pit Bonnie, and she controlled Fetch and made him act the way he did, and was Funtime Freddy. She was all these different characters, terrorizing all the different characters she created, which is very interesting that she just created this entire world with all these different characters, yet she herself would torment the characters she created with other characters that she in fact created. It's a very complicated story, but she is literally the most terrifying thing within Fazbear Frights, because she is all, and she is basically the eldritch horror goddess of Fazbear Frights. But let me know what you guys think about this list in the comments below. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care. And if you guys want me to see any more lists about scary Fazbear Frights characters in the future, let me know. And I'll see you guys next time.